got a monster here. I don't know what it is. Oh my Lord. Welcome. This is Sig with Fish Out Loud. I'm about ready to head over to the Central Florida to the St. Johns River to fish my very first Florida Bass Nation State Championship. I've never been on the river. Stay to the end. I'm going to tell you how I caught these fish. So get ready for some fish catching action. Here we go. We got a nice one here. Oh, this is a monster. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. This is a monster. We got a St. John's monster bass on here. Oh Lord. Oh my. Oh, he's not ready yet. Come on, baby. Oh man, I felt the thunk, and there he was. Oh my. Is he done yet? Is he done? Nope. He's gonna do it. No. Oh, look at that baby, man. That's a monster. Woo! Black zipper worm, black and blue, midnight color. Look at that St. Johns River monster. Woo! All right, I'm gonna take some time out here. I'm gonna weigh him and see how much he weighs, okay? So I'll be right back. Remember, you're just one cast away. All right, what does the St. Johns River monster look like? St. Johns River monster looks like this. All right, gonna let her go here. There you go. Come on. Come on. There she goes. Into the depths. Remember, you guys, just one cast away. That was a bite. Oh, we got a monster on. We got a monster on. This dude is on fire. He's on fire. We got a monster. Oh, he's barely hooked too. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, God, look at that monster, man. That is a monster. Woo. Oh, there we go, baby. He wasn't coming off. I gotta get my pliers. Be right back. back here in Palatka on the St. Johns River, throwing a lipless crankbait. I got a technique I developed many years ago called the rip and rattle, and looks like it worked right now. It's about a 5-pounder. I'm gonna let them go. I'm pre-fishing for the Bass Nation State Championship here, and if this keeps up, I'll be throwing my technique, rip and rattle, baby. Look at that bad boy. All right, remember, guys, you're just one cast away. Got a monster here. I don't know what it is. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. This thing's ugly. Oh my. I'm gonna have to get a gripper here. Oh my. Oh. Oh my. This thing's a monster. I have no idea. Oh, oh, come here. Get the old gripper ready. I have no idea what this thing is. Man, this thing is tugging now. At first he didn't tug. Now he's going nuts. All right, let's see if I can get his mouth open. No idea what this thing is. Let's first get him on. Oh my. Take her easy here. All right, there we go. That's an exotic. Have no idea what it is, but we'll figure it out later. All right, guys, remember, you're just one cast away. Here we go. All right, wasn't that some awesome fish? You know what? I absolutely love the St. Johns River. And here were the conditions, okay? We just had Hurricane Ian completely wipe out the lower west coast of Florida, and it's worked its way right up central Florida, and it was a mess, okay? So St. John's, for about 2 weeks, I had to sit there and go, I can't go pre-fishing. So I actually went pre-fishing before the tournament, and I was told that the river's still high and flowing. So we got tidal conditions. These are river fish, so that means they could be schooled up in one place, gone the next day, and you got to go find them again. So my strategy was real simple, never being on the river. And I did watch some videos, some YouTube videos, things like that, but I just focused mainly on me trying to find river fish where they usually are, and I knew that I'd probably have to jump to a lot of places. Okay, so the first fish I caught was a 6.5 pounder. It was on a point. The current comes into this point, but he was kind of around the point. So he's a pig, okay? He was snorting around up there, seeing what he could eat. I threw, and I love throwing this, and it's a bait that a lot of people don't throw. First of all, living here in Florida now, I realize I learned pretty quick. Everything's black, everything's blue, everything's purple, everything's just dark, okay? And I know some people got their favorite colors, but if you're looking for something, just you best go with black and blue, black and dark purple, you name it, emerald colored, things like that. But I throw something called, it's a robo worm, West Coast specialty, and nobody throws this anymore. So if you want to throw a bait that's very cost effective, you can find robo worms in some of the specialty tackle stores. Black and blue, it's a 5-inch with a little curly tail. Basically, it's the first ribbed, I'm going to show this to you real quick. It's the first rib bait that came out, okay? You can see that, made by Robo Worm. And so it's got a big profile as it drops, but yet it's small. Catches big fish, okay? You saw that 6.5 pounder that I caught. And really have that rod handy. What do I flip it on? Well, 20-pound braid. I go straight braid. I'm noticing down here in Florida, they really don't care, these fish. Okay, you get it in front of them, they're going to eat it. But in this case, I was throwing 15-pound fluorocarbon, okay, just because I had it on the rod already, on the reel. So my second bait that I threw, and I didn't throw this until the last day of pre-fish. And I love structure too, and there are some bridges. And throwing this by a piling, and right at the boat, one about 6 to 8 pounds exposed himself to me. So I had this tied on. I try to, when it comes to these Alabama rigs, and by the way, in Florida, the law is 5 hooks, okay? I confirmed that with DFW, I think they call it, Department of Fish and Wildlife. Also confirmed with our tournament director, state tournament director. And I actually did put 2 of them together, but in the end, this is what caught my fish during the tournament. So, love that. I use one that's called a G-Funk Baits, G-Funk Rig. Okay, again, you can find those in specialty tackle stores. Why do I use this? Well, because my very good friend Jason Brofka, who is the owner of G-Funk Baits, makes these. And Jason is known for catching big fish on the West Coast, but now he's recently moved to Texas, fishing the Bassmaster Opens. I'm so proud of him. So I throw G-Funk, and I really like the Berkeley jig heads, okay? And if you're not familiar with this and you want to throw an Alabama rig, in this case it's a G rig, what I do is, again, I can use 5 hooks. I'm going to use baits that are a little smaller at the top, on the bottom, a little bit larger. So I'm using a 2.8, 3.3, and then I'll go to a 3.8 at the last hook. And this is the one they usually bite. And I like to put a little chartreuse on that tail. Again, something a little bit different. And they're usually always crunch this one, okay? You know, the Kitech brand is what I use because it does have a scenting already built into it that they formulate. And when the money's on the line, that's what I got on my rod during tournament day. Pre-fish, I don't really care. I'll use the more cost-effective Alabama rigs. But when the money's on the line, G-Funk is on my rod. Also, I do have a stick bait tied on, and I don't care if it's a Cinco or it's a Strike King or it's a Berkeley General. Again, black and blue, I'll have that tied on a spinning rod actually. And I put a little weight in the front, probably less than 1/8. And just, again, I'm pitching it in 2 places. So I'll have that tied on. And lastly, because we are in October, these fish are schooling on bait fish, I will have a lipless crankbait tied on. So how do I work my lipless crankbait? So I keep my lipless crankbait, especially in the fall time, very, very simple to use, okay? It's a great springtime bait, okay? And in the fall time, especially when these bass are gorging on bait fish, okay? I don't care where you're at. Here we are in the St. Johns River, and keep it very simple. Blue chrome, for some reason, in the fall time is an awesome color. I did not use that. I used my traditional chartreuse shad, lipless crankbait, and I use chartreuse shad in low light conditions, so early morning and over cloudy weather, okay? It just seems over the years has really worked really well for me. And then when the sun comes up, okay, and it's sunny, I go to a ghost minnow. And I work these lipless crankbaits a little bit different than everyone else does. They have the yo-yo technique. If you don't know what that is, you just let it hit the bottom, lift your rod up, kind of yo-yo it up and down. I have something called a rip and rattle technique. Let it hit the bottom and I sweep it like this, okay? And I'll sweep up, I'll sweep down, depending on the situation. Now, this being the St. Johns River, there are stumps, bumps, and lumps everywhere, okay? But what I do is when I get hung up, I have something called a sure thing. I have some videos on if you want to go back here and take a look at what a sure thing is. It saves me so much money and it's very cost effective, okay? Then my last resort is a kind of something that I've put together here, and I've got a video on this too that's coming out. So be sure right now, so you don't forget, subscribe, hit the notifications key so you get notified to see this. So when my little sure thing is not working, I've got this attached to my belt loop, and it's running down the line and knocking it off. I bring up everything with this, okay? So awesome. So I love throwing lipless crankbaits. That's my #1 go-to. So we're getting ready to fish the Bass Nation State Championship. I'm excited for the tournament to begin. Guys, remember, you're just one cast away.